What's going on, guys? Raiderpint here, back for the video. Today we're on One-Shot MCU with another cannon here. This cannon is a 160 stacker RC Fusion One-Shot Nuke alternating. Lots of words there, but I'll explain it all. So yeah, we're gonna get right into it. Obviously it's a fusion like I said, and it is alternating, so the first shot will actually be a regular one-shot hole, and the next shot will be a one-shot nuke. So let's get right into it. Boom, fire. So it's a regular shot. You can see you have the barrel, so it goes through one block. So you can see that is a fusion. You can see right here. There's no it's not like air or whatever. I don't know. Nothing going in. Just regular fusion, you know. And one shot nuke. And like I said, yeah, it's an RC. So here's what kind of webs. And there you go. And look at that, fantastic. So yeah, it is a fusion, as you can see there. We're gonna get right into it though, explaining what's happening and why I have this very odd layout with the slab bus right here. Explaining all that right now. So we're gonna go right to the sand comp and the layout of it. It is kind of my setup with my 23 long sand comp, 1 pulse RC, except it's dumbed down by like half, so it's a lot less sand. But it's about 8, I think it's 7 high actually. I don't know, let's check. Okay, yeah, 7 high. So it has plenty, it drops fairly fast. That's why I'm using it for this cannon. So yeah, basic 1 pulse RC and all that stuff. Now, I have this slab bust in here for a reason. I have a slab bust inside of the sand comp because I didn't want to actually add an entire nuke compartment over here for the one-shot nuke. That's one of the reasons, and another reason is it actually increases the velocity of the sand, and instead of having it spread out between 3 different blocks, like having your slab bust right here and then sand and then your hammer right here, which would give your hammer less velocity, I want to compress it all closer together like so there would actually be more velocity for it to shoot farther, because it's a multi-stage fusion. What that means, I have half this going off at a different time and half it going off at a different time, so it's divided between 2. So I want to increase the velocity as much as possible. So I pretty much just, you know, put the sand comp inside of the slab bus, so I didn't have to waste an extra block in the barrel, decreasing the overall velocity of the hammer. There you go. So what's happening with this multi-stage fusion is you have this part of my power. This is dedicated to the sand and the slab bust / one-shot nuke. So it's dedicated to that because it'll fire out, okay, that's how it will explode, shoot it out, and then the hammer will be shot, I think 3 ticks after the sand, and that gives the sand time to fall down about a block, and then the hammer will come in and hammer it down. I'll show you it right now so you can maybe see it happen. Okay, so come over here now. This is the regular one shot now. So you'll be able to see the sand drop. Go. You saw it right there. The sand dropped 1 block before hybriding, or before being hammered down. I'm gonna do the same thing for this next shot, except there'll be more sand or more TNT inside of it. You can see it. Dropped a block, and then obviously that happened there. So yeah, that's how it works. It gets dropped a block and everything. This is actually on its max tick. It can be pushed out. So if I add 1 more tick, the hammer would not be pushed out at all. So it's at the very max it can, because if I add it to right there, it would actually get fired with the sand, which is not what we want. So yeah, that's maxed out at that. You can see it's separated by about 3 ticks. Yes, 3 ticks. So not 4, but 3 ticks. That gives it plenty of time for it to fall down and everything. With the alternation setup right here, so obviously the lamp is off. It's on a regular one-shot. If the lamp is on, it's on a one-shot nuke. Pretty much just a little basic T flip-flop here. You guys have seen this before on my one-shot nukes. I pretty much do this for all my one-shot nukes. So we have this signal going into that, and then when this toggles, you can see, whoopsie, it kind of trades signals, and when you have a repeater going into another repeater that's sideways, it actually locks that signal. So that's pretty cool. Some of you guys didn't know about that maybe. So you can see it locked it even though there's nothing going into it. So yeah, that's pretty cool. Now when this is on, that means the one-shot nuke is on, so now I'll push this down and push that down, allowing the signal to pass through the repeaters and actually toggle the second shot, and then there's a torch right here that will then reverse the signal to the regular one shot, and when this is powered, this gets retracted, and then the regular one shot isn't on, vice versa. That's not powered, that's powered, and then that turns off. Once the nukes turns off, and the basic regular one shot turns back on. Now, this whole sequence with the one shot, or the regular hammer timing and the second hammer timing, is kind of complex, but not really. I had it branch off of down here from the actual boosters, because if I had it branched off from the hammer, it would be a 4-tick difference from the hammer and the power. And if you guys don't know, normally most of the time a 4-tick difference means it will make it clip, because it has enough time for it to fall down to the next block. So it'll make your hammer clip, and that's not what you want. So I had to find a way to get it to be 3 ticks instead of 4. So I had to take it directly from the, the boosters, and it's wired up like that. So it looks kind of bad, but I had to do it, so yeah. Timing here, this is the first tick, goes right through, then gets distributed between these. Now, if you guys don't know, a one-shot nuke, you have to have a certain order. Has to go power, first hammer tick, sand, second hammer tick, and slab bust tick. So pretty much the part that gets nuked downwards. So to follow that order, so the second that this ticks off, I have a signal going directly into the sand comp right here to actually drop the sand down, like so. So you can see the second that that toggles, this literally gets toggled too. Now, there's a lot of extra sand actually in this sand comp, so if I count sand, there's 154, so actually there's not a lot extra. But normally, if you're in about the 230 range, you need to have extra sand for this, because the one shot or the one pulse RC part actually overrides the one shot nuke. So what I kind of mean by that is, since it won't be a full like sand, and you're counting this in, so with the one pulse sand and everything, you'd have, let's say for a 230, like 232 sand. What actually happened is, since this would be the last thing to register, and it's not following the hammer sand hammer, it would actually be right in the top, and the slab bust would be all the way down here, which would not get powered or not get pushed down. So it's kind of one of those reasons. If you guys have any questions on that, I know that's kind of confusing, feel free to comment about it and I'll respond to it. But yeah, that's kind of how that works. Obviously, it's a basic stuff right here, you know, whatever. I've said before that fusions, you don't need one-shot sand, and as that is very true, with this, since it's still following the block difference, kind of like a guider, you do need one-shot sand. Now, if for a regular fusion, double the hammer and everything, where you don't need one-shot sand, what's happening is all your power and all your hammer and sand and whatever is in this one block. And when it hybrids up to this block. So then you don't need to you don't need to have extra one-shot sand to stack on top of it, because your original sand stack already is there. But with a guider difference, your sand is one block below your hammer, so then it'll stack up to this point and not to that point. So when it hybrids, it's not going to hybrid because you don't have one-shot sand. So you need to have one-shot sand for the top block, so then it'll stack, and then the top sand will stack on top of it, giving that hybrid effect. Again, that's somewhat confusing. If you guys have any questions on it, feel free to ask in the comments and I'll reply to it. So yeah, that's kind of how that works. But rather than that, that's pretty much everything. I covered everything, the sand comp and everything. It's basic one pulse RC sand comp, 2 complex. This is being powered by a sticky piston going from a redstone block into here. So then basically that. Obviously right here you guys can see that's the piston. All that stuff like that, capacitor, whatever, pretty basic stuff. But yeah, rather than that, nothing much else to say. I'll fire one more time to see if you guys can see the actual difference when it fires, like the sand falling and everything. So maybe you can. That looks good. You can probably see that one a lot better. So yeah, this does work up to like 30 chunks I've tested, because I added a lot of extra power to it, because I know some people like to shoot extremely far. Why? I don't know. I didn't add freaking sand, and of course I didn't. Okay, well, let's talk about that. Yeah. So it didn't work because I didn't add the sand in, but we'll fire again here for you guys. Where's the button? There it is. That was my fault. Okay, should be on Oneshot Nuke now. Let me fire. Be able to see again the sand inside or falling down. Just like that. So yeah, that's how it works, guys. Release at about, let's say 45 likes. I know you guys can do it. We've done it plenty of times before. But yeah, if you guys have enjoyed this video, leave a like, you know, stuff like that. I'm Raiderpint, guys, and I'll see you guys all in the next video. Peace out.